Welcome to Ladies in Tech with Lauren Deal and Kelly Mack, a show by women for women, breaking the IT stigma by empowering, inspiring, and highlighting ladies in tech. Let's join the ladies in the studio now for today's episode.
Welcome to Ladies in Tech. I'm one of the hosts today, Lauren Deal.
Hey, and I'm Kelly Mack.
Well, we're so happy to have you here today. And Kelly and I jumped into tech in a couple different ways. And so I am fascinated with the tech world and how it's always changing.
Always.
And there's always something to learn that makes your life a little easier and also kind of expands your worldview. What brought you to the tech world, Kelly?
Well, you know what? I've been working in radio my entire career, and now I'm kind of transitioning into TV via tech, ITProTV, of course. So I'm enjoying learning all about tech and learning about, the different programs out there and how to put things together, how to take things apart. It's been quite fascinating, to say the least. So we decided to bring this show together to empower women, to give women resources, and to share some great stories and testimonies of other successful women in tech.
Well, I think this is a really great platform to kind of bring all of these powerhouse women together on the same platform, which is tech. We can learn together, we can empower each other, and we can have a great conversation in the meantime. So
absolutely, because that's what women do best.
Absolutely. Well, speaking of which, we have a really great guest to welcome to the show today. Her name is Cheryl Janda, and with no ado, we're not going to hold back. We'd love to bring her in now, and here she is. Cheryl, welcome to the show.
Hey, Cheryl.
Hi, thank you, Lauren and Kelly. It's great to be here. Thanks for having me.
No problem.
So, Cheryl, where are you located?
I'm in Wisconsin. I'm about 45 minutes southwest of Milwaukee, not too far from the Illinois border.
That is really neat. Again, tech is bringing us together. We're in Florida. She's in Milwaukee. So here we are using tech. But Cheryl, tell us about what is your job currently? What's the role that you hold?
Sure. I'm the Director of Salesforce Development and Integration at ACI Learning. I'm in charge of our Salesforce systems in terms of support, maintenance, development, the whole nine yards. ACI Learning, we have three different Salesforce systems. So looking at, long-term down the road, also understanding and, helping decide what is best for ACI Learning going forward and how we manage and support three systems and, look at how we can get these down to one system, sometime in the near future.
Okay, so you're a very busy woman. And, for starters, let's talk about your educational background. What kind of education and certifications did you need in order to transition into this role?
Sure. I have a Bachelor's of Science in Technology Management, so obviously that fits very well in my current role. Mm-hmm. I also am PMP certified. That's project management certification. I've been a project manager in other roles. I also have a number of Salesforce certifications, and I've had other training specifically in management, specifically people management, right? How to be a good people manager. I think there's some people that are born with that skill, and some people, need some training on it.
Right. Well, technical skills, I think, in this field are usually the main focus. But like you said, if you're managing an entire team of people, you need those soft skills as well.
Right.
Now,
Sure.
You started off in tech about 30 years ago, which is such an incredible career to hold. You started off as a project manager, and now you're in charge of Salesforce. How did you do that?
One step at a time, right? Mm-hmm. We all have goals and objectives. It took me a long time to get to where I am. Looking at, you look at your goals, you set your goals for yourself. You need to break those down into smaller chunks, and you just, take it off one bite at a time, right? Once you're done with achieving one specific step in that big goal, or if you complete your goal, then you move on to the next, right?
Right.
It's a never-ending journey.
Yes, I couldn't agree more. And, sometimes I feel like we live in a microwave society. Many of us were raised on the microwave. So I say that to say a lot of our younger generation, they expect things to just happen overnight. And we have to realize that, in life, nothing happens overnight. You have to work hard. You have to put in the work. You have to get the education. And you have to fail a few times before you succeed as well. So I love the way that you chimed in on that. We know that you're a very, very busy woman. And we want to know how your work-life balance is. Does it exist or not?
It does exist, right? From, while I'm working, I'm focused I'm laser focused on the job at hand. I think in order to maintain some work-life balance, you need to know when to walk away, when to take a break, right? So I make sure I take a break, at least one break during the day. It's typically during the day.
Okay.
Um, and being able to turn it off at the end of the day, right? A lot of us are remote workers. I'm working from home. I'm working from my home office. When the day is done, turn it off, turn off the computer, close the bedroom door, don't walk back into the room, whatever you need to do to create that separation, right?
And we see the guitar
see
in the
the
background,
guitar.
so we got to ask.
Is that something that you do as a balance of life?
Sure. For fun, I do play the guitar. I'm in a musical duo called the Green Eyed Ladies.
Oh.
I just do it for fun. So, yeah.
Well, I'm very intrigued. I'm sure Kelly and I, after this, are going to peek and see if we can hear some of your music. So we'll be in touch after the show.
Yes.
All right.
But you said that, as someone who has advanced her career over the course of many years, you probably started off in a role where you had to grow into it. And being a manager,
Sure.
I imagine that was probably not the easiest first role. Tell us about how you overcame that obstacle.
Sure. My first experience managing people in my mid-20s, it was before I actually got into IT. And I bombed at it. I was a horrible manager. So when the opportunity arose the next time to be a people manager, I accepted it on the condition, I told my boss at that point in time, I need some help, right? I need training on how to be a good people manager, how to be a good leader. So we coordinated that. And I've taken a lot of additional training sessions through various organizations on how to be a good people manager, right? So it's a learned skill for most of us. So that was something that I sought out to get some additional training.
I think that's amazing too, because it lets people know that you really want it to be your best. And we've all had a great manager, we've all had a so-so manager, and then we've had that one manager that we would never work for again. So
Right.
you knew where your weaknesses were, you knew you needed help, and you asked for it instead of pretending to know it all. And that's the key thing, to
I
say
have
the
to
least.
say that's really hard, though, sometimes to
Yes.
swallow your pride. And I think as women, sometimes we're like, we wear so many hats, we can do it, just let me do it, I'll figure it out. But I also think in order to progress and be your best self, you need to sometimes ask for help. And that's, I think it's a humbling experience, but it's also probably the best next step up, if you will. So
Right.
kudos to you, Cheryl.
Thank you. Right. Sometimes we feel like we need to be perfect, and we might be afraid to make a mistake.
Right.
I know I make mistakes every day. I think the key in that is learning from them, and like you said, know where your weaknesses and strengths are, and don't be afraid to ask for help.
Who did you ask for help? Do you go to a mentor, or did you read books? Like, how did you aspire to change the way you were a manager?
Great question. At that point in time in my life, it was my direct manager. He was the owner of the company. He was my mentor. He helped guide me and helped find courses, gave me a lot of direction how to be a people manager when certain situations came up where I needed additional support. He was always there for me. So I think having a really good mentor is key as well.
Okay. Awesome. So you can always go to somebody, and if not internally at the organization, there's other
Right.
people outside. And with technology, since this is a tech show, let's think about thinking outside of the box. You can Google people in your area and possibly look for a mentor, look for somebody on LinkedIn,
Yes.
find somebody on Facebook, network, go to networking events, So technology is at the tip of our fingers, and we could pretty much get anything done that we want to get done. So
Right.
Thank you so much for dropping those gems on us today.
Oh my word. And Cheryl, actually, I'm thinking when Kelly was talking about all the different platforms that you can go to ask for help, how do you even open up a mentorship conversation? If there is a girl watching or a woman watching today who's thinking, okay, I know what my career goals are, I have some ideas of where I want to go, how do I start the conversation? What would you say?
That's a really great question as well. I know that in the Salesforce arena, there is a mentorship program. I am the mentor. I have 4 mentees. I have 4 people that I am currently mentoring in the Salesforce arena. So you can go on Trailhead specifically for Salesforce and look for a mentor that way. Outside of Salesforce, I think the same concepts apply, looking at different technology groups or different women in tech groups in your area, just being involved and networking, right? Talking with people.
Awesome.
Powerful.
It really is. Yeah, definitely. Well, you know what? Before we wrap it up, a few things we typically wouldn't know. We're going to ask you some fun questions about your personal life. So, you know, we talked about you being so busy earlier and the demand of your position and your career. I want to know, where was your last vacation? And it's kind of a two-part question because I also want to know what your dream vacation is as well.
Oh, great question. I've traveled to 17 different countries.
Wow.
My last vacation, though, was out to Washington, D.C. to visit a friend. My next vacation I'm planning is to Costa Rica.
Ooh.
So I don't know if that quantifies as my dream vacation. I've had many great, awesome experiences and plan to do many more. So
we might be meeting you in Costa Rica.
Costa Rica sounds like a plan to me.
Down.
All right, my turn for a fun question. If you were to go back and talk to your younger self, what advice would you give her, or what would you say to her if she's starting out her career?
You got it. You can do this, right? Just take it one step at a time. Don't give up, and don't compare yourself to anybody else. Comparison is the thief of joy. You are your own person, and just be that person. Practice being the person you want to be.
Definitely. I agree.
Step into that space.
Yeah,
that's
definitely.
great advice.
Oh my gosh, I love it. I love it. All right, and last but not least, since we're keeping it fun, outside of playing the guitar, is there anything else that you do that's just absolutely fun and that people would be like, what? Oh my gosh, I would have never guessed.
Well, I have 4 adult kids, 4 grandkids, and the 5th one on the way, so I spend a lot of time with them. They used to call me Mama Rot. Now I've been upgraded to Grandma Rotsy. I'm a bit of a
congratulations
as well. So outside of traveling and playing my guitar, that keeps me pretty busy. So
you have a full life, Cheryl. That's
she really
amazing.
does. Yeah, I love it. And she does have that balance. And it's quite evident, you know, because she talks about her family. She talks about being a grandma, you know. So I love it, Cheryl. Thank you so much for sharing with us today. Thank you for joining us. And as a treat to those who's watching, well, how about some music by Cheryl?
So check this out. And Sophie's coming up next. But Cheryl, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me. It was great.
Thank you so much, Cheryl. What a great interview. And if you at home are thinking that you'd like to be a project manager too, you can actually go to ITProTV and check out our PMP courses and start your journey to become a project manager as well. And we can't leave this interview without sharing a clip of Cheryl's band, the Green Eyed Ladies. So let's check it out.
Green Eyed Lady, lovely lady, slowly towards the sun.
All right, it's time for the Lit Tip of the Week. And of course, you know, LIT is the acronym for Ladies in Tech. So let's check in with Sophie Goodwin. Sophie, what do you have for us this week?
This week's tech tip of the week has to do with scanning files, but using your phone instead of just a regular scanner, which I actually didn't know that you could do until recently, but with tax season coming up, I've had to scan a lot of different documents, W-2s and I-9s and everything, and it's been great. It's been a lot of fun, but it has been made a lot easier by being able to use the Files app and the Notes app on my phone. And if you don't want to use those apps, you can also download apps from the App Store like Scannable. I know Kelly uses Pro Scanner. So there's definitely a lot of different options out there, but you just open the app, follow the directions, scan your documents, and then you can either email them to yourself, text them to yourself, or upload them right in your browser on your phone. So it's definitely shortened the process for me a lot. I'm sure you could use it for things that aren't taxes too. You could use it for photos, whatever you want. But for me, it's the practicality of tax season that really has, this file scanner has been a miracle. So that's the tech tip of the week. And ladies, back to you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Sophie. That's great information, too. And you're right. I do use the Scan Pro app.
I'm going to download that. I didn't even know about that. Thank you, Sophie. All right. Well, Sophie, we're going to actually throw something back at you. We have a really neat segment that we're doing next. It's called Wow, because usually this is the woman of the week that makes us stop in our tracks and really appreciate their accomplishments. So, Sophie, tell us who this woman of the week is.
Our Woman of the Week is Jasmine Bowers. She actually just recently graduated in the last couple of years with her doctorate in computer science, but she started at Fort Valley State University. She double majored in mathematics and computer science. Then she went over to North Carolina A&T State University to get her master's in computer science, and she didn't stop there. She then went to Gainesville, Florida to attend the University of Florida, go Gators, and she's the first black woman to graduate from UF with her doctorate in computer science. Wow, it's just a little pun there. But she has said that some of her biggest inspirations in her life have been her mom, her grandmother, and her aunt. They've always been encouraging her and pushing her to pursue her education, do what she's passionate about, and they've been her biggest supporters as well. And she managed to do all of this even through the challenges of the COVID-19 pandemic. She graduated back in 2020, which is kind of when all of that first started. And even despite all of that, she managed to finish her doctorate, which is super impressive to me. That's our Woman of the Week.
Wow, I am impressed. And you know what? I love a strong woman and a determined woman. And it seems like Dr. Jasmine Bowers is just that.
Oh my word, and such a young person to nominate for our show. So I think this is such a great time to tell you about nominating your favorite, your Woman of the Week. So if you are interested in nominating someone to be on the show, we would love to hear from you. In fact, we're on all social media, but we'd love to send you over to Instagram, and there's actually a link there where you can drop down a menu and tell us why someone should be nominated for the show. We'd also love to engage with you on Twitter. Sophie is always talking to our ladies in tech, and we'd love to have any questions you might have for our next guest. So make sure you're checking us out on socials.
All right, and as we close today, we wanted to leave you with a motivational thought. You know, if you can believe it, you can achieve it. Your power is in your mind. When you believe that you can, you're already halfway there. So again, believe, achieve, receive.